And there's a quote at the beginning of Fear and Loathing that says, "He who makes a beast of himself gets rid of the pain of being a man."
What does creative freedom really look like? Is it the ability to choose any role you want? The freedom to ignore expectations? Or is it something much deeper? For most people, Johnny Depp is one of Hollywood's most recognizable actors. His unforgettable performances have entertained audiences across generations. From eccentric dreamers to fearless adventurers, he has created characters that remain part of cinema history. But behind those memorable performances lies another story, a quieter story, one that isn't measured by awards, box office numbers, or headlines. It's the story of an artist searching for creative freedom. Unlike many careers that follow a predictable path, Johnny Depp's journey has been defined by constant exploration. Rather than staying inside one successful formula, he repeatedly stepped into unfamiliar territory. Every new role became an experiment. Every collaboration became an opportunity to learn. Every creative challenge became another step towards something larger than fame. That raises an important question. Why would someone who had already achieved worldwide success continue taking artistic risks? Why choose uncertainty when comfort was already available? Perhaps the answer begins much earlier than most people imagine. Before becoming one of the world's most recognizable actors, Johnny Depp's interests stretched beyond cinema. Music played an important role in his early life. Books filled his imagination. Art offered another way of expressing ideas. These creative passions existed long before international fame arrived. They shaped the way he viewed storytelling itself. For many people, success means finding one path and staying on it. For Johnny Depp, creativity seems to have meant exploring many paths at once. Acting, music, painting, storytelling. Each one became another language through which ideas could be expressed. Instead of asking, which career should define me? His journey suggests another question. How many different ways can creativity speak? That perspective changes everything. Creative freedom isn't simply about choosing projects. It's about refusing to let one identity limit your imagination. Throughout Hollywood history, countless actors have become closely associated with a single type of role. Audiences recognize them instantly. Studios know exactly what to expect. The formula becomes familiar, predictable, safe. Johnny Depp chose another direction. Rather than protecting one screen image, he embraced transformation. Each character challenged him to think differently, to move differently, to understand the world through another person's eyes. That willingness to change required courage, because originality always carries uncertainty. No one can predict which creative risk will succeed. No one can guarantee how audiences will respond. But artists who stop taking risks often stop growing. Looking back across Johnny Depp's career, growth appears to have mattered more than predictability. His filmography reflects curiosity instead of repetition. His artistic interests extend beyond the camera. His collaborations reveal a willingness to learn from other creative minds. Together, these choices form a remarkable pattern. Not the story of someone chasing fame, but the story of someone searching for creative freedom. And perhaps that's the greatest difference between a career and a calling. A career can follow expectations. A calling continues asking questions. As we begin exploring Johnny Depp's hidden journey, we'll discover that creative freedom isn't a destination reached overnight. It's a path built through countless small decisions. Decisions to remain curious, to remain open, and to keep creating, even when the easier choice would have been to stay the same. Creative freedom doesn't arrive all at once. It isn't a prize that's handed to an artist after one successful film. It develops slowly, project by project, decision by decision. Looking at Johnny Depp's career, one pattern becomes impossible to ignore. Whenever the industry seemed ready to place him inside a comfortable category, he looked for a way out. Hollywood has always valued recognizable stars. When audiences connect with a particular image, Studios often try to recreate it again and again. It makes business sense. Familiar characters attract familiar audiences. The formula appears safe. But safety can become a creative limitation. Repeating the same performance may preserve success. It rarely expands imagination. Johnny Depp's choices often suggested that artistic growth mattered more than remaining predictable. Rather than asking what audiences expected next, he seemed more interested in discovering what he had never explored before. That curiosity became one of the defining forces behind his career. Some roles required quiet emotional depth. Others demanded bold physical transformation. Some stories belonged to major Hollywood productions. Others found their home in smaller, more personal films. Together, they created something unusual, a career that refused to settle into a single identity. This willingness to explore also shaped the people Depp chose to work with. Throughout the years, he collaborated with filmmakers known for distinctive storytelling rather than conventional formulas. Directors who encouraged originality, who welcomed unusual ideas, who believed that memorable characters are rarely built by following familiar rules. Creative partnerships like these do more than produce successful films. They challenge artists to grow. Every collaboration introduces another perspective, another way of solving problems, another approach to storytelling. No artist develops alone. Growth happens through conversation, through shared ideas, through the willingness to learn from others. Johnny Depp's creative journey reflects that principle repeatedly. Perhaps this explains why his performances rarely feel repetitive. Each collaboration expanded his artistic vocabulary. Each director introduced another way of seeing cinema. Each project became another classroom, another opportunity to learn. But creative freedom extends beyond choosing the right collaborators. It also depends on the courage to remain authentic. There are moments in every artist's career when outside expectations become louder than personal instincts. Commercial pressure, public opinion, industry trends. They all encourage conformity. Yet originality usually begins with the decision to trust your own creative voice. That doesn't mean ignoring advice. It means knowing the difference between helpful guidance and unnecessary limitation. Johnny Depp's career suggests a consistent effort to preserve that balance. Rather than allowing popularity to define every creative decision, he continued exploring projects that reflected his artistic interests. Some became worldwide successes. Others found smaller but deeply appreciative audiences. Both contributed to the larger journey. Because creative freedom isn't measured only by commercial results. It's measured by the ability to continue creating honestly. Another remarkable quality appears throughout Depp's work: patience. Creative evolution rarely happens quickly. Meaningful change often develops over years. An artist reads another book, learns another instrument, studies another painting, works with another director. Each experience seems small by itself. Together, they quietly reshape the imagination. Looking back decades later, the transformation becomes obvious. Not because one dramatic event changed everything, but because hundreds of small creative decisions gradually pointed in the same direction. Perhaps that's the hidden journey very few people notice. The world's attention often focuses on the finished film, the completed performance, the public success. But the real journey happens long before audiences enter the theater. It happens during the quiet hours, the reading, the listening, the observing, the experimenting. Those invisible moments become the true foundation of creative freedom. And as we'll discover in the next chapter, the greatest freedom Johnny Depp found may not have come from Hollywood at all. It may have come from the creative life he built beyond the spotlight. When most people think about creative freedom, they imagine complete independence, the ability to do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. But for artists, freedom often means something different. It means having the courage to continue creating, even when no one is asking you to. This may be one of the most revealing parts of Johnny Depp's creative journey. Throughout his career, acting has never been the only way he expressed himself. Away from movie sets and film premieres, he has continued exploring other creative worlds. Music, painting, literature. Each one offers something that filmmaking cannot. Music allows emotion to exist without dialogue. A melody can communicate feelings that words never could. Painting slows the creative process down. It invites observation rather than performance. A canvas doesn't expect perfection. It simply waits for honesty. Books offer another kind of freedom. Every page introduces new ideas, new perspectives, and new voices. For an artist, reading is more than entertainment. It is a conversation with generations of storytellers. Looking at these creative interests together, one lesson becomes clear. Johnny Depp has never relied on a single outlet for his imagination. When one creative path becomes demanding, another offers balance. This is something many artists understand instinctively. Creative energy grows stronger when it is allowed to move freely between different forms of expression. A musician becomes inspired by a painting. A painter discovers an idea while reading a novel. An actor hears a piece of music that changes the emotional direction of a character. Nothing exists in isolation. Everything influences everything else. This way of thinking may explain why Johnny Depp's performances often feel layered. They aren't shaped only by acting techniques. They reflect years of listening, reading, observing, painting, and learning. Every experience quietly becomes part of the next performance. There is another important lesson hidden inside this creative lifestyle: the value of solitude. Modern life often celebrates constant activity, constant connection, constant visibility. Artists frequently need the opposite: moments of silence, time to reflect, space to think. Many creative breakthroughs happen away from crowds. They happen while walking alone, reading quietly, playing an instrument, looking at an unfinished painting. Those quiet moments rarely make headlines, yet they often shape the most meaningful ideas. Perhaps this is why Johnny Depp's creative life beyond the camera deserves attention. It reminds us that creativity doesn't begin when the audience arrives. It begins much earlier, in private moments that belong only to the artist. Those moments are impossible to measure. No awards celebrate them. No box office numbers record them. Yet without them, many unforgettable performances might never exist. Perhaps that's the hidden freedom Johnny Depp has been searching for all along. Not freedom from work, not freedom from responsibility, but freedom to remain curious. Freedom to keep learning. Freedom to create for the simple joy of creating. And maybe that's the greatest form of artistic success, because careers eventually change. Industries evolve. Public attention comes and goes. But curiosity can remain for a lifetime. Johnny Depp's journey reminds us that true creative freedom isn't found in fame. It's found in protecting the part of yourself that never stops exploring. The part that continues asking questions. The part that keeps creating even when no one is watching. As we approach the final chapter of this documentary, one final question remains. What can Johnny Depp's hidden journey teach all of us about finding creative freedom in our own lives? The answer may be far more universal than Hollywood itself. As we come to the end of this journey, one realization stands above everything else. Johnny Depp's story isn't simply about becoming a successful actor. It's about protecting something much more valuable: the freedom to remain creative. Throughout his career, he has demonstrated that creativity is not a destination. It is a lifelong practice. Every role, every painting, every song, every collaboration, every new experience has become another chapter in an ongoing artistic journey. Looking back across decades of work, one pattern becomes impossible to ignore. Johnny Depp never seemed interested in allowing success to define his future. Instead, he allowed curiosity to guide it. That may be the greatest difference between building a career and building a creative life. A career often asks, "What should I do next to stay successful?" A creative life asks, "What haven't I discovered yet?" Those two questions lead to very different journeys. One protects what already exists. The other creates something entirely new. Perhaps that's why Johnny Depp's career continues to fascinate audiences around the world. His greatest transformation wasn't becoming a global movie star. It was refusing to let fame become the limit of his imagination. Instead of allowing one profession to define him, he continued exploring music, visual art, storytelling, and creative collaboration. Each new interest expanded the next. Each experience became another source of inspiration. This reminds us of something that applies to everyone, not just artists. We all have more than one way to express ourselves. We all have the ability to learn new skills, to discover new passions, to reinvent ourselves at different stages of life. Growth doesn't end when we become successful. In many ways, that's when it truly begins. Another lesson quietly emerges from Johnny Depp's journey. Creative freedom doesn't mean having unlimited opportunities. It means making the most of the opportunities you already have. It means choosing curiosity over comfort, exploration over routine, learning over certainty. Those choices may not always be the easiest, but they often become the most meaningful. Think about the people who inspire us the most. They're rarely remembered because they followed the safest path. They're remembered because they created something authentic, something that reflected who they truly were. Johnny Depp's legacy is not simply a collection of memorable films. It's a reminder that imagination should never stop evolving, that an artist can continue growing long after becoming successful, that creativity becomes stronger when it remains open to change. And perhaps that is the hidden journey very few people notice. Not the journey from obscurity to fame, but the journey from success to creative freedom. A journey measured not by awards or headlines, but by the courage to keep exploring, to keep questioning, to keep creating, again and again. So the next time you watch a Johnny Depp performance, remember that what you're seeing is only one part of a much larger creative life. Behind every character is a lifetime of curiosity. Behind every performance is an artist who never stopped learning. And behind every creative choice is a simple but powerful idea. True freedom isn't found in becoming famous. It's found in never losing the courage to create. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Johnny Depp's hidden journey to creative freedom. If you enjoyed this documentary, let us know in the comments. What do you think is Johnny Depp's greatest creative strength? His acting, his music, his visual art, or his willingness to keep evolving? If this story inspired you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more cinematic documentaries exploring the lives, creativity, and careers of extraordinary artists. Until next time, stay curious, stay creative, and remember, the greatest freedom any artist can find is the freedom to keep becoming something new.